And then Bray Wyatt was going to introduce a new character in the Firefly funhouse. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it'll be a female character. I saw Liv Morgan's name floating around online. I just talked about her a few weeks ago, right? Where is Liv Morgan? Why are they not following up on that story from TV a few months ago where she was going to come back with this totally new character and then we never saw her again? Well, it had nothing to do with that. The new character, I guess, that he was introducing to the Funhouse is the Fiend now has his own custom championship. Universal Blueberry Belt, I guess, will be for Mr. Rogers Wyatt when we see him. But when we see the Fiend, or when the Fiend comes out for a match, he now has his own custom title the way that Stone Cold had the Smoking Skull belt and the $1 Million Man had the $1 Million belt. The Rock had a Brahma Bull belt, even though we never saw it on TV, but they did make one. Now Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, has a Fiend Championship. And at the end of the show, he came up through a hole in the ring, and with the Blade and the Butcher and the Bunny, no, I'm kidding, came up through a hole in the ring and put the mandible claw on Daniel Bryan, dragged him down underneath the ring, and then when Bray, so he's standing in this hole, and he's reaching down under the ring, and they want you to think that he's ripping the hair from Daniel Bryan's head, maybe his face. Maybe he's ripping his beard off. So now, everyone's wondering, what's Daniel Bryan going to look like the next time we see him on TV? Is he going to shave his head? Is he going to shave his face? Is he going to be totally bald? Is he going to be like Kane when Kane was unmasked in 2003 and he had little patches of missing hair in his head? What's he going to look like? You know, is it going to be the old American Dragon look from 10 years ago? I hope not. I'm going to start getting all these comments again. Hey, what's Solomonster doing on SmackDown? How could he be on SmackDown and on AEW Dynamite at the same time? Because apparently I look like every white guy in the world. He was the first guy that I was compared to years ago. I would go to the Ring of Honor shows and the guys, it was always the same guys at the door. They would look at me, they would rip my ticket or whatever, and they would kind of laugh. Oh, look, it's Baby Dragon. And I would go in, and this was during the American Dragon phase, you know, Bryan Danielson having all these kick-ass matches in Ring of Honor. But anyway, so we'll see what his look is come Friday night on SmackDown. What do I think about the new belt? I have two views on this. On the one hand, I like the fact that they gave him a custom championship like this instead of just changing the color of the existing Universal belt or giving him side plates like they do for everybody else. I do think a character like this needs to have his own unique spin on things. So I like the fact that they gave him his own custom belt. What that does not mean, though, is that I have to like the way that the belt looks. Like the Smoking Skull title with the snakeskin backing, that was cool. You could still buy those replicas even today. They must be selling well because they still sell them. This thing does not really come off to me as something that is overly exciting to look at. It's a little creepy. I guess that's the look they're going for, right? So in a way, it fits the Fiend character, but it is an ugly looking belt. It's the sort of thing where I'm not exactly sure why anybody would want to fight for it. I guess the idea is that whoever's going to beat the Fiend at some point will be able to kind of ditch the belt and get the old one back, but it's not the sort of thing where if you're wrestling this guy for a championship and that's the championship, that you really want to put maximum effort in to try to win that championship because it's ugly as sin. But WWE, they're always one step ahead. You can buy an actual replica of the Fiend Custom Universal Championship right now. It is the Fiend Custom Handcrafted title on WWE Shop. They have it available for what they're calling a limited run. It is a limited run pre-order item that will begin to ship on December 20th. So you may not get it in time for Christmas. Be aware. Be forewarned. Although I don't think anybody listening to this right now is going to even be buying this thing, and I'll tell you why in a second. But you look at the product specs and all the details, handcrafted by Tom Savini Studios. Tom Savini himself is not working on this shit, but Tom Savini Studios is going to handcraft this title, and the mask on the belt is made of a latex skin and acrylic eyes that capture the intense stare of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. 64 inches long, the height, 12 inches, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. They're all individually numbered, certified authentic. Each title comes with, it's going to be numbered. Certificate of authenticity, hand signed by Tom Savini himself. Genuine leather strap. So those are the specs on this thing. You would think, man, this thing's going to be pretty pricey. I mean, you see some of these custom deluxe belts that they sell on WWE Shop, $500, $600. This thing could be pushing $1,000. $6,499.99. Plus $576 in taxes. The final total, if you want to buy this belt for yourself or for a friend, for a Fiend, $7,000 is what it will set you back. But at least you get free shipping. You do get free shipping on your order. $7,000. For $7,000, that fucking thing better be made of actual human skin. And the Fiend needs to personally deliver that thing to my house and put on a Firefly Funhouse puppet show. I don't care if it's in a diorama shoebox. I need a personal puppet show from Bray Wyatt himself when he rings my doorbell to hand deliver this thing to me on my doorstep. You could buy an engagement ring for your girlfriend with that money. You could buy a car or put a payment towards a new car. Or if you really like belts, put this in perspective. If you are a championship belt mark, and I like championship belts too. I have 2 of them myself. I have one from when I was in college when they first started making these replicas. I thought it was so cool. Wow, they're actually making real replicas. I got to buy one. So I bought the big gold belt from the Attitude Era. And then years later, I was gifted the classic Winged Eagle that I had which was always my favorite title as a kid. I got it as a gift. Shout out to Matt, if he's listening. Had it re-leathered. It's on display. It's beautiful. Okay, so that's my little collection that I've got. Some people like buying championship belts. Nothing wrong with that. But think about it like this. If you wanted the authentic Winged Eagle title, handmade by Reggie Parks himself, although I don't know if Reggie is actually doing these anymore or if Dave Millican is now, but if you want an authentic, handcrafted Winged Eagle Championship, real leather strap, the thick plates, the whole 9 yards, like you would see on TV, the real deal, it would set you back $2,500. You could buy 2 of those and still have $2,000 left over. And you take a look at this thing, and I don't care if you think it looks cool or if you don't think it looks cool and you think it's the ugliest thing you've ever seen. $7,000 for this thing? I mean, I don't even know what word to use to describe that. But I guess some people are going to look at it and say, well, it's a limited run item. If I buy this now and it's signed or something and it's got a certificate of authenticity and I hold on to it 5, 10, 15 years down the road, hey, maybe this thing will be worth twice as much. And if you have the money to spend on something like this, then God bless you. Maybe they look at it as an investment. Maybe they're just buying it because they figured they could turn it back around and sell it for more money. If you could do that, hey, by all means. $7,000 for you got to take a look at this thing. If you haven't seen it yet, $7,000 is easily the most expensive item ever in the history of WWE Shop. Clearly, it has to be. What else would be? This thing ain't worth $7,000. And they know people aren't going to buy it in mass. It's probably made to order. It's probably on demand. Order comes in, they handcraft it. I don't know how long it would take to make these things. I doubt they're going to make 100 of them and just keep them stockpiled in a warehouse somewhere. How many orders do you think they're going to get for this thing? Someone will buy it. I'm just wondering, how many of them are they going to sell? Do they even have to sell that many? $7,000 a pop? I mean, if they sell 10 of them, I mean, they've already made a nice little chunk of change. Now imagine if they get 50 people to buy this. Maybe in the end it'll be worth it for them. I think it's completely ridiculous.